Thank you so much to Notion for partnering with me on today's video. Hey besties, it's Joel, and today I'm going to be taking you through my Notion setup for 2022. I hope you're doing very well and that you're looking after yourselves. If you've yet to take that drink of water, please do so. We must remain well and hydrated. And as always, if you don't have water, be sure to get your beverage of your choice. And if you've yet to check out my Instagram nor my Twitter, I would highly recommend you go check those out because I post some extra bookish content that you're not gonna see here. Okay, so last year I uploaded my Notion tour in about April time, and a lot of you were really loving the way that I set up my Notion and just seeing and getting creative with Notion as a whole, and so I thought for this year I would do another one for you. This was meant to come out last month, however, a lot of things happened. I got sick, I had a bout of bad mental health, and so it's taken a little bit longer for this video to come out. However, I'm very, very happy for it to be coming out now, and it's gonna be amazing. And again, I would love to thank Notion for working with me on today's video. They have just been so amazing to work with, and just using Notion as well, it's really, really amazing because it's such like a versatile tool that you can use for a multitude of reasons. As someone who is like a content creator, a student, and someone who has ADHD, it is amazing to be able to keep everything in one place for me to browse and go through and just have everything like organized, and it's great. Plus, it's like a source of creativity for me because Notion is like such a sandboxy tool. I can make pages look exactly how I wish them to be within the parameters of Notion, and it just gives me that little bit of creativity, make pages look beautiful. Plus, there's also a collaborative element within Notion as well, as you can invite people to your pages. And I know a lot of you also see my love of Notion through like my Instagram, my Twitter, and just seeing how like excited I am to be able to show you this today. We do have some like new and updated pages. There are still some pages that I still need to build, but I'm definitely going to be showing you my new and updated reading page because that one has actually been highlighted by Notion on their templates page, so I definitely love to go through that and just show you a little bit of how it works. I'm also going to be taking you through my updated Dark Academia page, my updated writing page, and yeah, I just have some really cool things to show you today, and I think it's going to be amazing and exciting. And so before we get into the tour, if you'd like to check out Notion for yourself and maybe like follow along and try and build your own Notion pages whilst watching this video, then you can use the link in my description in order to check out Notion for yourself, and I'm really excited for it. And so yeah, let us get into the Notion tour. Okay, so on here is my Notion homepage, and it looks a lot different to what I had last time because I very much needed everything like menu-wise to be in one place. Notion, I don't know which update it was, but in one of their updates since April of 2021, they basically allowed you to move blocks into the call-out posts, and I took full advantage of that because they just look amazing. They really grant this kind of like separation with the like different types of content, and so I literally moved everything into like these little call out blocks. I really like it. It's become one of my like favorite things to use. Here we have the dashboard. I have like a song as per usual up there, but there's no like thing of what the song is. I removed that just because it felt easier and more minimalistic to just not have that. And then on the left we have the menu. I've vastly like reduced the menu because I was finding that I wasn't using some of the pages, and so I've kind of shortened it a bit. So in the main character menu, we have my year plan, we have habits, memories, recipes, and finance. These are basically the things that I kind of use every now and again or in my day-to-day life. The year plan is basically like what I plan to do over the next year and like any goals that I have. Habits, which I have not made yet because I still need to read this one book in order to get it, but that'll be like where my like habit tracker or like habits will go. Memories, as we saw in my last Notion tour, basically has like these pages that I can write like journals and stuff in. We won't be seeing those because they're personal, but they're there. We then have recipes, which basically then contains like some recipes that I'm planning on using. I think I'm going to be using this more so when I move out and start reading cookbooks a lot more, so then I can like have the recipes in there for reference. But also I need to start investing in more cookbooks because I definitely want to start cooking a lot more, and I definitely think once I move out that'll be something I start to do. And then we have finance, which is basically kind of like the similar as last time, where I just have like financial goals and then just like pictures, and then I have like my financial trackers, savings savings plans, and then this new page of moving out calculations, because basically I calculated how much I would need to move out because I wanted to have at least like a few months in expenses just in case something happens. And so I'm saving up currently for that, and I'm hoping I'll move out this year. It's looking likely, but fingers crossed. Then we get into the creative corner where I have all of like my creative outlet pages, and then on the shelves where I have all of like the things that I recreationally do, so like reading, watching stuff, listening to podcasts. And then I have a very specific video game page for the Elder Scrolls Online, because that's basically like one of the only video games that I'm playing at the moment, and it basically just has like stuff to do with like what zones I'm going to, the DLC stuff, things that I need to craft for me and my party, because I'm basically like the main crafter for my party because I like researching stuff and all of that. But yeah, that's basically that. But as we go into the middle of the Notion page, we then have this kind of like aestheticness to it where we have like a little reading thing, a progression tracker throughout the year, so like seeing how much we're through the day, the week, the month, and the year. It's kind of worrying but also encouraging to see how far we're through like a year or a month, because it's kind of like, okay, so I have all of this time left to do something with it, or look at how much has passed and look at how much I've done. So in a way, I just look at it and feel really encouraged to do more, and to also take a break sometimes, because I'm like, oh, I've done so much within like this like week that I can actually take a break. Then we get to like about me. My name's Joel Rochester. My pronouns are he, they. I'm now 22 years old. The last time I did a Notion talk was 21. This is my first video that I'm filming at 22, and just seeing this is amazing. I live in South Wales, Aquarius Sun, Taurus Moon, Scorpio Rising. This is just like generic information that I wanted on there, like, you know, just in case I ever lose my memory and need a refresher. For all seriousness, it's just nice to have there, just so I can be like, this is my Notion page, this is my Notion setup. And then we have one of my favorite quotes of all time from the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. He smiled and his face was like the sun. And I really just love that. I love that quote so much. And then we have a Greek bust picture, because, you know, the Dark Academia vibes is going to be quite strong in this. Then we move over to the quick links, and the quick links basically is probably the thing that I've added to this Notion setup, which has basically made my life a whole lot easier. And so we have what I'm currently reading. So I'm currently reading Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood. This book does not come out until 2023. However, because Sarah Underwood and I are friends, she gave me the manuscript. So basically getting to read that early, and it's so good so far, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And so all of my notes are within this page, but I can't show you because it's spoilery, and I think I would literally be killed if I showed you. But then I have what I'm currently watching. So at the moment, I've finished the Book of Boba Fett now, actually, so I can actually remove this from what I'm currently watching. It was a really good series, and I'm really looking forward to the second season potentially. Then I'm also currently rewatching Steven Universe because it's just an amazing, amazing show. I'm also currently watching the new season of Star Trek Discovery, which is no longer on Netflix, sadly. It's exciting, and I'm really, really loving this new season so far, and just seeing the kind of new avenues that Star Trek is exploring through this. And then obviously we have my next videos, so the Notion tour that we're currently filming, and then the romance reading vlog that is also being filmed as well at the same time. Then we have like my important tasks to do, so in there I'll just basically note stuff like film, Notion tour, and then at today, and then it'll remind me to film that today. And so it's like a great little thing that I can do when I need to remind myself of the important tasks that need to be done. And then we also have reminders where I basically have like my to-do list, but then also kind of things like remember to call mum. It's nice to have that distinction, because important is like, you need to do this, and a reminder is, hey, you don't need to do this right now, but be sure to do it like at some point soon, so that like people don't worry. And like, as someone with ADHD, it's nice to have those two distinctive things, because then I'm like, okay, this is something that I need to prioritize, and this is something that I don't have to do yet, but I can do later. Okay, so now I've given you like a kind of overview of the main page and like how it helps me, because I can like quickly jump to pages that I need to jump to. I'm now going to take you through my cozy library page, because this is the main thing that I basically use Notion for on a daily basis, and it's great to like record the books that I'm reading. And of course, like Goodreads and Storygraph are great trackers, but also having this built-in kind of thing for Notion that's private is also really nice. And this took a while to develop actually, and it was quite hard to develop in terms of like the coding, but once I was watching a few tutorials, it became a lot easier. Okay, so now the photos finally loaded in. We basically then have the cozy library. So we have the Song of Prod Reading and Coffee, which you're listening to at the moment. Then we have the librarian's desk, which has what's on my bookshelf, which basically eventually when I move out, I'm going to be cataloging all of these books that are behind me. Yes, it is an issue, but yeah, I'm going to be cataloging every single book that I own, and it'll be going into the on my bookshelf page so that I have like a place where I have all the books that I own cataloged, just so that I know if I go book shopping or something, I can quickly reference the page to see if I already own the book or not. Then we have collections, which basically is like Penguin English Library, Chiltern Classics, basically these collections that I want to start collecting because I really love books and the way that books look and just having them like aesthetically placed on my shelves. Then we go on to favorites, which basically has like where I'm going to be placing a lot of my favorite books. So at the moment you can see some examples like The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, where I basically will be filling out like, why is this book one of my favorites? What's so special about it? Favorite characters? What do I love? What are some of my favorite quotes and what themes resonate with me and why? And a thing that I love about Notion is that you have templates, so you can easily create a new page from this and just make all the pages look the same but also carry like their own distinctive messages, and it's great. And so I really like that, and being able to change up the templates as and when, and it just like affect every new page that I create. And going through more of the cozy library page, we then have my previous reading logs, my bookworm's best friends, Storygraph and Goodreads, so I can like note what I've just read on them. And then we get onto the more technical side of this page. And so this page is amazing because you have your own automatic reading tracker. And what do I mean by automatic? So as you see up here, we have the reading goal of 2022, where I've so far read of 6 books in 2022. But when I eventually finish Lies We Sing to the Sea, all I need to do is click this read button, and suddenly this 6 turns to 7, which is very, very, very exciting for me because I really wanted to do something like this, and it did take me a bit to figure out, but once I did, I was so proud of myself. Basically, in this page, we have every book that I've read so far in 2022 and a progress bar. This basically has every single book that it is accounted for, but hidden. And then, yeah, it basically, there's a lot of like different formulas with it to just make everything working. Don't touch that, it'll be fine. But yeah, mostly it works like that. You're wondering, how do I like add a new page to ensure that it works? Well, we have a book review template. So you add it and immediately it's added to the database that will apply to the 2022 books that we're reading. And so in this template as well, we also have thoughts and reactions, important information. So if you need to like know any representations, if you need to know anything important about the book that you might want to use for a review, and then any notable quotes and also things you might want to research further. But we also have book review templates, and the questions from this template were very kindly provided by a blog post from The Quiet Pond that is run by one of my dear friends, CW. I'll have the blog post linked specifically in the description down below, but also on the template there are credits there as well, so you can actually go view the blog post in its entirety. But through this we have different questions that will aid you in writing a very good and succinct book review and just make you question the things that you like thought about the book. For example, with the characters, if you're writing like a positive review, what made the characters interesting, or what made them a great character? Why did you like the character development, and what character relationships did you like? So they really question why you liked a certain book and just getting into the nitty-gritty of things. But also with this template as well, we have like age group, genre, the amount of pages, so you can really see like how many pages you've read so far this year, the date you finished it, the rating, the numbered rating, so you can get an average rating. If it was an arc, have you reviewed it properly? There are some books definitely missing from this that I have read, such as Who Cares Wins by Lily Cole, but that'll like add later. I really like it, and also really like how did I feel about this book? This page has just been such a joy to create, and it's actually also again available on the Notion website. I'll have a link in the description down below to the specific template that you can use to automatically copy it over to your Notion. It's amazing. I have these quotes here by Ursula K. Le Guin and Oscar Wilde, and again, it'll just automatically update for you with the Notion like goal tracker. I'm not exactly sure yet how I'm going to be able to update it for 2023, but that is a hurdle I will cross when I come to it. It might just be that I have to like change the relational database a little bit, but once I figure it out, I will come out with a tutorial on how to do it if you want to keep using this page for next year. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, let us go on to the Dark Academia page, because this is another one that has been slightly updated, but is also a little bit different. different. So Dark Academia is similar to what I had last time, but it is a lot smaller. So again, we have my Dark Academia, an overview of my academic career, including important information, study notes, and study sessions. And then we have my important links for my university. I'm at a different university, so they use different things. Instead of Canvas, I'm using Blackboard. And then we have R.F. Kuang's quote, which is, "We aren't here to be sophisticated, we're here to F people up." And I just love this quote, and I'm really excited to get some really cool Dark Academia quotes from her new Dark Academia novel Babel that's coming out in August. And so I definitely think that quote will change at some point, but we'll see. But then we have this really cute picture, and then on the side of that, we then have my classes from the first semester. They have their own like classroom pages where then I can go in and basically update the course description, show my module handbook, and then my class notes as well, which has like everything that I basically need to do an assignment. Which then, as we go down, we have my assignment tracker, currently drafting like my Arthurian and narrative and nation essays, but I finished everything else that I need for this. But what I'm really excited about with this as well is that in my second semester, I have as an assignment to write 1,000 words of fan fiction. So it's gonna be really exciting to work on that within Notion as well, because I'm really loving the module so far. We basically talk about how like when a writer publishes a work, it's no longer fully theirs, and discussing the relationship a body of work has with critics and with fans as well. It's such an intriguing topic, and I'm really excited about that, and I just can't wait to see how everything will evolve further as we go through the module. But overall, this page has just become a lot more simplistic, and I really like that, because since my dissertation is not being written whilst I'm being taught, it's actually later, I can actually just focus fully on creating a dissertation page in its own separate entity. And so just having this and having all my class notes as well in one place really helps. And because as well I'm a master's student, it just fully complements my needs, because I don't really need a lot of things on this page. And I think I realized that as I was coming to the end of my undergraduate, like there were a lot of like things that were unnecessary for me, specifically like my class schedule. Like it's on my phone now, and so I don't really need it to be on Notion. And so yeah, it's like very much a learning thing when you're using Notion, figuring out what necessarily you need to have on Notion and what necessarily you can keep off Notion. And so my phone gives me reminders of when my classes are going to be, so I don't need Notion to do that for me any longer. And it's why I really like using it, because I can basically put what I want to put on there, and it works seamlessly with other applications as well. Going into then my writing pages, this hasn't changed much, but I kind of used the linking of like being able to like link pages. I did that once again, because I used to have all of the pages linked on here, but I've since come up with a story database where I basically have every single idea that I have for a piece of fiction detailed on there, and it's a lot. I'm not going to show you because, you know, I kind of want to keep something secret, but I have then links to my story pages. So we have a link to Wub Wub, which is Watchers Bend, Watchers Break, which is my Dark Academia novel. We have Welsh King Arthur, which is basically like my own Percy Jackson series following Welsh and Arthurian mythology. It's very exciting. And then we have my No Harm Done short story, which if you're unaware of, I'm actually contributing to an anthology that's coming out in fall 2023 called No Harm Done. It's gonna be very exciting. My short story is coming along very nicely, and I'm so excited to see what you all think when it comes out. But yeah, and then this is very much like Dragon Age themed as well. And so we have like the history of Blight, Bard's Repertoire, Our Library, Spirits of Wisdom, where I basically have like a lot of my inspirations for novels on here. And yeah, and then I have a bunch of resources like masterclasses, Skillshare classes, and Susan Dennard's newsletter, which I highly recommend. I then have like a calendar of when I'm gonna have things done and dusted by, and drafting and stuff. I still need to update it on the calendar. It will detail all of like the timelines of things on when they're necessarily being done. And so yeah, I'm very, very excited about writing further in the future. Fictional Fates has mostly stayed the same. It has the index towards a lot of like my YouTube, Instagram, late night book club with the future book club choices, which I can't show you that page because of. But then we have like branding, brand growth, partnerships, which has like my future like sponsorships and stuff on there, contacts, so like publishing emails and such, my like brand identity, because if we think about myself as a brand, which is weird to think about, but like it's good to remind myself why I started this booktube channel, why I kind of continued this booktube channel almost. And then we have me, the boy behind the brand. This kind of like centers everything that I want to do with fictional fates and everything that I want to do in the future as well. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking I'm probably going to have to update this page soon as well, purely as fictional fates grows and changes into like a third phase of content and just seeing how that evolves. But I will definitely be updating this sometime soon. But yeah, basically that is mostly what I use Notion for. It's gone from a place where I basically had every single thing recorded down. I use it to record the things that I can't keep inside here, and I really like that because it's really allowed me to organize my daily life and just take the chaos of what's inside my mind and put it into somewhere that can help calm down the overwhelmness of my brain. And I enjoy it because it's just such an amazing program, and I love the way that Notion has just continued to grow and continued to change and basically make a lot of things easier for people to use. It does have a little bit of a learning curve with it, but it's kind of like when you're learning to ride a bike or learning to swim. The more you do it, the more you learn about it, and the easier it becomes to use, and the easier it becomes to like know when to use things and adapt and grow and change things. And just being able to like find other ways in which other people use Notion as well, like my friend Alexandra, she just uploaded her Notion tour as well, which I'll link down below, and she has so many different ways to me that she uses Notion. Like she has like a little GIF icon that she uses on most of her pages, and I find that just the ways that people use Notion is astounding, and I definitely am looking to always constantly evolve and change my Notion as well to reflect that. And yeah, maybe the next Notion tour you'll see something completely different, who knows. It's why I love Notion, and it's why it's completely amazing. But I definitely also want a few more like collaborative pages, and just being able to like work more with people on like developing content ideas, developing like really cool avenues and ventures for things that I'm gonna do. And yeah, I'm really excited. And yeah, that is basically it for this Notion tour. I hope you really enjoyed it and that you've seen like some of the pages that I use in my day-to-day life. I definitely will consider doing another Notion tour later on this year, probably like once I move and stuff, just so I can show you all like how I did my moving, how I sorted that out, but also just kind of like showing you updated pages and how this app has changed like 6 months or 8 months on from now. And I definitely think it'd be really cool. If you want that to happen, be sure to leave a comment and also a thumbs up on this video. It would really help, and be sure to click the link in my description as well, which you can use to access Notion and try it out for yourself. I definitely want to see all of your Notion creations, and tag me on Twitter, Instagram. It would be very amazing and very awesome. And yeah, I guess that's everything for this video. I've just had so much fun going through this with you, and I know a lot of you also really appreciate the Notion tours as well, so I'm very glad to be providing with this once again. And again, a massive thank you to Notion for sponsoring today's video. It's just been a massive pleasure to work with you once again. And so yeah, I guess until next time, bye besties.